Hello everyone, this is Josh from Risco's Ranches, back with another video rescuing one of my piece of crap beaters. This right here, as longtime viewers of the channel know, is my 1999 Lincoln Town Car, which has a 3-inch lift on it, truck tires. I had to cut some of the fenders and everything to make it fit, and that's about where I left it for the last couple months. The last time I used this thing, it was starting to miss real bad. I'm sure you guys know. This generation of 4.6, 5.4s, everything like that, they are notorious for going through coil packs. This thing probably ate another one, so I need to figure out which one it is and replace it. Then I would like to put some new speakers in the front. The speakers that are in there are gone. I ripped them out for a different project. I have a different radio to put in it because that radio is junk. And then more importantly, I pulled it out of the backyard, like I said, where it sat for a couple months. And the gas gauge said it was empty. I'm like, well, that's weird. I know it's not empty. I left it full. So I went back to fill it up a little bit and figured out that I have a little pinhole in my gas tank. So I got a little kit to fix that. So we're gonna fix that. And then at that point, this thing should be good to run and drive again. This thing with the super tall gears in the back and like the 293s it has gets like 30 mpg on the interstate. And well, like I've told you guys in a few of the last videos, I've got a new job. It requires me to drive like 30 minutes every day for work. So that will always be nice. Gas is expensive right now, and if I can save a few bucks, I'm gonna save a few bucks. And we're going against the clock right now. It's about to rain. While we're working on the coil packs and everything, that will give time for this tank to drain the rest of the way so that little pinhole isn't exposed to gasoline, and I can clean it up and throw the patch kit I've got on it. The patch kit, the work time is like 5 minutes and the cure time is like an hour, so it won't take too long. I will say right off the bat, I went and bought a halfway decent code reader that can do ABS things and stuff like that. And it's saying that it's reading it is misfiring on the driver's bank. It didn't give an exact cylinder yet. I hadn't let it run for long enough for that. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you guys a little trick. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take off the air intake, and then we're going to unplug coil packs and see which one makes the motor miss more than the other ones. If you unplug one and it doesn't miss anymore, that's probably the one that's misfiring. All right, so now before the weather gets here, let's get right into it. All right, first things first, we got to get this air intake off because, like I said, it's the driver's side and it's right underneath this air intake, which is definitely not held in there with duct tape at all. I'm sure this isn't causing any of our misfiring issues, not one bit. There is something just going every now and then in here, and I can't figure out what it is. What is that? I don't know. My guess is like ABS module, because as you guys know, this thing has 0 rear brakes. I took them out for my Crown Vic to make dual wheel calipers in the back so I can have a hydraulic e-brake, and maybe that's an ABS module throwing a fit. That's my guess. I don't know, I'm not gonna look into it for now. All right, well, most of that crap out of the way, what we can do now is we can start this thing up and start unplugging these things and seeing which one makes it miss worse than the others. I'm hoping it's like one of the front ones that's halfway decently easy to get to and not the very back one. But with my luck, it'll probably be the very back one. You hear it idle down? Can I plug it back in? Well, that one's not changing much. That might be our dead player. Let's try this one. Oh yeah. See how it shook real bad? Still shaking. And plug it back in. Stop shaking. Do that again. See right there, there's no change. This right here is our dead player. That right there is an easy way to tell on these motors, or any motors with coils right on the top. If you have a miss, go through and unplug them and see which one makes the motor run the worst. I'll tell you what though, somebody at some point did care about this motor because some of these coil packs are MSDs, so those are kind of expensive. That's kind of why I figured it wasn't the MSD one. So it's definitely this guy right here. We'll shut it off too. Gotta need to figure out where that giant air leak is. Probably what's making this thing not want to start worth a damn when it's cold. But the weirdest thing is normally how you find an air leak like that is you just kind of spray something flammable, starter cleaner, carburetor cleaner, starter fluid through it. Like if you spray it like right here and it idles up, that means that the engine is sucking in that flammable fluid through there, so your leak is somewhere around there. But I've done that to like all of this engine bay and I cannot get it to idle up anywhere. So I have no idea where this vacuum leak is coming from. All right, now we got to play the guessing game because, well, there was a handful of different coils on my truck, and And I used that thing enough where one of the coils went bad. I just figured, screw it, I'll just put all new coils on it. And I never figured out which coil it was that went bad. So it's one of these coils that's bad, but I don't know which one. So I'm gonna hope and pray I guess correct the first time. I don't have to rip this thing all back apart to replace the coil pack I just replaced. Another good way to tell on these things is they have this like goop inside of it, like this tar stuff. If you see it oozing out of the top, that means it's overheated and cracked and it's got moisture in there. That means it's either failing or it's going to fail. So if you see goop and stuff coming out of the top of these things, you don't want to use them. This thing. Yeah, just the self-tapper in there. No wonder it wasn't coming out. Oh, you poor car. You were treated like this, then you were given to me. Well, given to me, I bought you, but what a shame. Sounds better. Yeah, because this is all just duct tape right here.
I wonder why it runs like shit.
Well, I mean, they seal. They did before. The non-clampable clamp. Wait, I thought it was a dog whistle or something. You say that'd be really funny. Just be going.
Oh my god, we'll shove this in there.
Oh, dude. Dude, it's an Energizer one. Good dog.
Menace.
That's kind of why I mess with it, but might have to go. I probably. All right, now let's look underneath and see if it's still pissing gasoline. You guys can see right up here, somewhere up there, it has a leak. Thank you. I gotta get my fat butt in there to it.
Hi guys.
Could get my fat butt in there to it. I gotta clean it off.
It's dripping, guys.
Why is it still dripping? It needs to stop that so I can put the fuel tank sealer on it. I poked the hole a little bit bigger to make it drain quicker. You guys can see it just had a little itty bitty pinhole in it. And the flies are bad under here. All right, so it started raining. So we went inside and didn't do anything else, but I did patch gas tank with goop. I'm gonna touch it real quick, make sure it's cured. It's the next day, so at 110% should be cured. Then we'll throw some gas back in the tank, hope to God it doesn't leak. Then we'll clean up the interior on this thing. Legitimately might have been out of gas. All right, well, I have sort of an issue. So I was going to do a homemade alignment on this thing, because if you look on this side, it's pretty well straight on this one. But if you look on this side, oh my God. This thing needs more than just the wheels aligned up and down. I think it needs everything aligned. That might explain why it's always been kind of sketchy going down the road. Yeah, that one's really far turned. And that one's not very far turned. So that's going to be a whole video aligning this thing, getting the tie rods aligned and the ball joints aligned and everything like that. So that's going to be more than what I would do today. So I'm just going to leave that for now. If I don't look at it, it's not a problem. So what's going to happen now is we're going to clean out the interior of this thing. Me and my buddy had fun with it. You know, we went up to Arby's and shit like that. And I haven't cleaned it out, and it's been in here for multiple months. So it's completely gross. So I need to clean out this interior. All right, now we're gonna change the oil on this turd because, well, I guess it deserves it. It survived 1.5 years of abuse, so I'm not really doing it out of the kindness of my heart, but I have a bunch of oil laying around that this thing takes. On my old Crown Vic, I forgot I was cleaning up it, starting to actually work on it a little bit, and I found like an unopened 5-quart jug of 5W30. Then in my shop, there's also another 2 or 3 jugs of half full 5W30, and I did buy an oil filter for this thing whenever I bought a bunch of other crap with Rock Auto because it was like $1. It was a wholesaler closeout, so I guess I'll give this thing an oil change. Watch, after I do this, it's gonna blow the fuck up. Now that it has new oil, it's not gonna know what to do with itself. All right, after thinking about it for a little bit, I'm not going to do a radio install in this video. I've got to put speakers in the door. I mean, this thing has literally no speakers up front. I took them out for another project, so without ripping those apart and doing all that crap, well, it just ain't worth it. I'm going to do that in a later video, but we're going to do a walk around on this thing. I'm going to show you guys everything I got for this turd and kind of the plans with it. I am going to ask for some of your guys' input because there are a few things on this car that I don't know exactly which way to go with. All right, so we'll just start with the outside and work our way in. We'll start at the front, and well, I've got this big old push bumper. This thing came from like a Chevy Spark or Sonic or something. I think I paid like 40 bucks for it, but it's got a winch hookup. It's pretty damn stout, and it's gonna work just about perfect on this thing. Basically what I'm seeing here is if I delete this bumper, this top grill right here will basically sit right about here with these lights, so I can do that. The grill will stay. I liked how it's going to look behind that thing with the chrome. The crash bar right behind this front bumper cover, which is this metal piece that, you know, actually makes a bumper kind of have some stoutness to it. That big old metal bar right there. Probably going to fit right about here, weld it right to there. Then I can use these brackets to go back a little bit and get some sport structures. Obviously, it's not going to bolt right up because, like I said, this thing came from like a Chevy Sonic or a Chevy Spark or something. But I can make that work pretty well. Then I do have a winch to put on top of it, so that way if I get in a bad spot, I have a way out of it. Moving back, I do have the little hood flap that I cut out to fit the bigger battery here. I have it. I can weld this thing back in here, and without the structure on the bottom, this bigger battery will fit. And then I'll just undercoat the bottom of it, so that way it'll prevent it from arcing out. And speaking of undercoating, this whole car is probably going to get bed linered. I absolutely love the way these things look. I am going to leave the chrome and everything like that. I'm going to, you know, tape off the chrome and make sure I don't paint that. But these things in bed liner look really, really nice. I also have multiple things that I have ordered, but I haven't got in yet, so I'm not going to be able to show you guys those today. But I am going to get a light bar for the front, obviously like a foot-long one to mount on here, so that way I do have front lights in case, you know, these lights shut off. I think I've told you guys before, but the lighting module on this thing is on its way out. The headlights turn on and off. It randomly does it. That's why I mounted these headlights on the front of it, just, you know, to have something, so that way if my headlights die, I actually still have something and I can see things. But on the front push bar there's going to be an LED light bar, and back here, right about there, I'm going to mount these two lights right there. These little angle brackets are going to be perfect. They're going to give me sort of that Jeep look right on the front cowl right here. It's going to look pretty darn neat. And I have 4 of these, so I can put some on the back too if I want, you know, that way if I'm ever off-roading and I want to see what's behind me, I can. And then moving back a little bit, we got the roof rack. I went and picked this thing up. I think I paid like 20 or 30 or 40 bucks for it or something like that. I do need to build some roof racks and things like that. I think I'm probably just gonna build it out of 2x4s and just bed coat or undercoat them so that way they don't get rotten or anything like that. I'm gonna move it forward a bit. It's gonna hang to about right here. Then another light bar is going to go on top of it on this big flat pane right here. I am going to, you know, strip this thing down, repaint it, clean it up so that way it's not rusting anymore. But it is going to be a nice thing to have a roof rack on this thing. So that way if I need to pick up anything like seats for this thing, tires, random parts, I have something that can actually carry it. If I want to take a canoe to the lake, obviously I don't have a pickup truck at all, I can strap it right to this roof rack and not worry about caving in my roof at all. Moving on back here at my local Overstock store, there was this nice little spoiler. Which, let me move this damn roof rack out of the way a bit. It fits literally perfect. If you put it right there on that trim line, it fits right there perfectly. That's gonna add a little bit of pizzazz to it. It does have a brake light in there too, so that's gonna be kind of neat. All right, now that I got that, put this in the trunk because this big old trunk is holding a bunch of other toys. Basically, it's where my storage for all this crap is. I do have a couple aerials. I'm going to throw a CB radio or 2 in this thing. I'll mount them back here. These things look really, really neat with that stuff. And speaking of things back here, I'm going to have to reroute the license plate up there because I have a big plan for what's going to be back here. Now on these cars, the license plate and everything and the reverse lights and everything are right on the trunk. But if you put a giant spare tire right here, you can't see those anymore. And yes, that's exactly where I'm going to mount the spare tire. I'm probably going to go cut off the spare tire holder from one of the multiple RVs I have in my backyard that I bought for motors, mount it right there so I can have it vertically, kind of like this Lincoln right here. Then I'm going to get a wraparound push bar on the back to just cover up here, to just cover it up so that way if I get in a ditch or I need to be pushed out of it, somebody can just go up and just push me out of the ditch with the bumper and it not really tear anything up. Granted, I don't really care about this plastic too much, but metal is better for pushing somebody out of a ditch. It holds, it doesn't deflect, it doesn't scratch, it doesn't rip off. If I need to be pulled out of there, I'm gonna mount it to the frame so that way they can just hook up a tow strap right to that thing and just yank me out of the hole I dug myself into. And along with that, I'm going to have to relocate those reverse lights. Probably going to put them like here on the bumper or something like that. I don't know. This is kind of a playing it by ear thing, but I do have a handful of things that I want to install in this thing. And well, everything else is just going to kind of be where it falls. You know, I thought I still had the trunk seal on this thing. I guess I don't. Why did I take that off? What is wrong with me? And like I said, I'll probably have a couple aerials back here, a couple lights. That way, if I'm ever in a trail or something like that and I need to see back behind me, I can. Up on the roof rack itself, I probably am going to mount a couple running lights, probably like here and up there, just so it looks kind of neat. I kind of like the way the old amber running lights look on these things, and with it up, I have an idea in my head. Trust me, it's going to be good. I know it's not going to seem good right now, but it is going to be damn good. All right, and then we'll move into the interior on this turd, and I have a handful of things that are going to go in here too. First things first, I have had this Garmin dash cam forever. I bought it for a different car and never used it. It's literally brand new in the box. Buy one of these, whatever you do, even if you drive like a goddamn grandma going to church, if you have one accident, these things pay for themselves. They will cover your butt if you didn't do anything wrong, especially if you rear-ended somebody, because without video evidence, if you rear-end somebody, it's most of the time going to be deemed your fault, even if they ran out in front of you and slammed on their brakes. So buy one of these things, mount it, have it running at all times. It will save your butt in the event of an accident. Now I have some cup holders right here, but beneath it, I did order a light switch panel and everything like that to control all of the lights I'm going to be putting on this thing. I'm probably going to mount it right there in a little plywood box, and that way, you know, I can, you know, flip all my lights on and off from down here. And then on the side of that plywood box, I'll probably have the CB radio mounted over here. And then on this side, or maybe I'll have the CB radio on that side. On this side, I will have this. This right here is my knockoff police siren box. Now, this thing does have a mic for a PA system and things like that. I do have a speaker in the trunk for this thing, and I have the microphone for it as well. And before you guys start screaming, oh my God, you're not allowed to have that. Nope, in Iowa, you can have these things on your personal vehicle along with black and red flashing lights. However, you cannot use them on public roadways. But if I'm on the trail and I want to mess with my buddies or holler at them or say, hey, I'm stuck, come pull me out with my PA system, I can. So I'm going to mount this thing in here probably about like that. And like I said, the CB radio will be hanging out right over here. So I'll have dual microphones and speakers and shit like that. This thing does have a couple switches for lights on it. I actually pulled this thing off of my old Crown Vic. This thing is just a knockoff Amazon one. It was fun while it lasted, but I'm going to probably get a nice one to put on that Crown Vic for later. So this hand-me-down is going to go on this town car. Then I do have an old spotlight out of my old Crown Vic that I'm probably going to drill a hole right here for, so that way I can have, you know, aimed lights. I think it's sitting right behind my seat, actually. It should be right back there. It is an old incandescent one. I have an old LED. I'm probably going to modify that housing and put an LED in it so that way it can't, you know, blow out. I think that one in the back is actually already blown out, and the new bulb for it was like $60, and I'm not going to pay that. So we're going to modify that thing for LED hookup. And then, like I said, I've got a touchscreen dual thing radio that can go in here. I've got some speakers that I need to throw back in there. My buddy upgraded the speakers on his old truck, and he gave me his old ones, and they're a truck just like mine over there. So they're going to bolt right in. I might be able to go to the junkyard and find a couple door panels for this thing, maybe a window motor if I really feel snazzy. I don't care about it that much, but I do have a plan for the inside of this car. One color that I really like for old cars, especially off-road ones, I don't know why, but it's always stuck with me, is the burgundy interior. I don't think these cars ever came with burgundy interior, but I have had luck repainting interiors and redying them and things like that. So this thing might get everything, you know, all this wood and everything taped off and masked off, and then all of this might get fogged burgundy. I think with the black, you know, bed liner outside with all the LEDs and everything and the burgundy inside, it would be one hell of a cruiser. Then miscellaneous things here and there, you know, I might fix the fact that all these doors leak because I pulled the seals out of them, because in the Crown Vic that I had that didn't have the felt on the inside, you guys can see right back here, these things are the fancy ones and they have felt and all that crap, and I was going to put those in my Crown Vic, but the windows or the door openings themselves are a little bit different shape, so it's not going to work. So I'll probably throw them back on this car, clean up this interior, you know, put all these pieces I pulled off back on. Make these seat belts work, because these things right now do not work. I have right here zip ties and a carabiner to hook everything up, because these seat belts and these clickers are from different eras, so they don't click together. So yeah, I need to fix that. And when I say fix, I mean kind of jerry rig, but I mean it'll be a good jerry rig. Don't worry, it'll be a good jerry rig, I promise. So what all did we do today? Well, we got this thing running a lot better. I'll tell you what, you still need to prime it. It does have that big old vacuum leak that doesn't like to start. There we go. It runs a lot better. We got the interior cleaned out in it. We got the fuel tank patched. It no longer is pissing fuel everywhere, so that's a good sign. And we did a walk down with all the plans, with the roof rack, with the sun. Oh, I need to throw some screws in this thing. This is kind of crappy. Blah. Maybe double-sided adhesive it up. I don't know, but that's kind of gross. It's hitting my stupid big head because I have such a big brain. But we walked over what all the plans are with this thing. And like I said, if you guys know anything that you guys do want to see or you have seen on some passenger car that's turned into an off-road machine that you always thought looked good, let me know down in the comments below. If you guys want to see, ooh, mud flaps, that'd be a great addition. I think I actually have some genuine Ford branded mud flaps in that thing that I pulled off of an old Ranger. Those might go on here. That's a great idea, me. Good job. See, things like that, let me know down in the comments below. I love the way this thing looks already. I love the way it's going to look with that roof rack on it. I might put another little carriage, another little like luggage carriage on the back trunk, so that way I can carry even more crap. I might even get one of those, like, you know, hitch mounted ones and just cut off the hitch and screw it right to there. I think that looks great. It's really nice to have a utility thing that I can just haul things around with. It's convenient. I like the way it looks. It's just a win-win-win. But without me rambling along anymore, like I said, if you guys have anything that would look great on this car, let me know down in the comments below. I know for a fact that this thing needs a supercharger on it. That'd be awesome. Big old hood scoop and all that crap, but that probably is not going to happen. But this thing is a fun car, but it's a fun car on a budget. This thing has a lot of miles on it. It has a lot of abuse. I originally bought it for parts, but I ended up getting a title, and it does run and drive okay-ish, but not okay enough to really justify putting a bunch of money into it. I don't really trust that motor. I don't really trust that transmission. That motor has pops and bangs that it does sometimes. It doesn't really like to start sometimes. It's old. It's had questionable work done to it. The transmission slips in third and fourth. It's kind of bad in third. It's not like really bad, like undrivable, but when you sit there and you give it like half throttle, it kind of shudders sometimes. It's just tore up enough to have fun with and not care about, but also care about enough to do some fun things to it. So we've got a plan, we've got things fixed, we've got this thing sort of ready to be daily driven, minus the head gasket that's leaking again. I need to throw another head gasket, fix a head gasket can in there. I did it once, it worked, then I changed the water pump and probably drained all that crap out of it, so I need to throw another can in there. Like I said, this thing is just crappy enough to really not throw a lot of money into, but just good enough to throw some money into. So we know the plan now. We fixed a few things. We got it running and driving good again. So now the next time you guys see it, we'll be doing fun stuff. We'll be mounting a roof rack. We'll be mounting lights. We'll be, you know, mounting a bumper. We'll be doing a bunch of fun stuff to this thing to actually make it on the outside look like a really cool car, even if it is sort of falling apart on the inside. And well, I'm just gonna film this really quickly because it's getting really windy. I think it might rain in a little bit here, so I don't know exactly how well my voice is gonna come through in all these clips. It might be a little bit fuzzy. I might try to clean it up as best as I possibly can with the wind noise, but no promises. This was Josh from Riskers and Wrenches working on my lifted 1999 Lincoln Town Car that I bought for dirt cheap originally for parts and saved it from the crusher. If you guys like this car specifically, I've done a handful of videos with this thing. I lifted it here on this channel. I put the tires on here on this channel. I did big burnouts here on this channel. I've done a few things with this car here on this channel. Check it out on my channel below. On the other hand, if you guys just like messing around with stupid cars, check out the channel as well, because I have that Buick right over there that I've painted a million times and had a bunch of fun with. And well, I'm going to paint it again for 4th of July. It's the next holiday coming up. We're going to take it in a few parades, drive it around, have some fun. So be on the lookout for that video if you really like those crappy Buick videos. Speaking of that Buick, my buddy got that $250 one running and driving. He put new tires on it. He's done a handful of things off camera. He's got the AC working. He's got a bunch of good stuff working on that car. It's actually a great daily driver. Even I used it for a little bit whenever the alternator on my Firebird took a crap and I was waiting for it to show up. I borrowed that thing and I drove it probably 30, 40 miles a day for work, and it held up beautifully. And I want to do a shootout. I want to do a crappy Buick versus nice Buick shootout. You know, take it to a gas station, see how the people like it, see if they like the Arby's Mobile or that one better. Take it to a handling course, drag strip. I mean, do whatever the hell I want with it and do a little head-to-head shootout. That will be coming at some point here on the channel. But enough of me rambling. I'm going to end it here. This was Josh from Riskers and Wrenches, like I said, working on my 1999 Lincoln Town Car. If you guys like this type of stuff or anything to do with automotive in general, I do a bunch of it here on my channel. Every now and then I'll throw in an electronic video. I'm fixing up a man cave in my shop and I'm doing stuff with old arcade machines and plug and plays and things like that. But most of the time it's either cars or motorcycles or something like that. Something with a motor. I hope you guys are having a good day, night, week, whatever it is. I hope you guys are having a great one, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace out and goodbye. be the guy that, you know, filmed random children without their consent, that'd probably put me on a watch list somewhere. Yeah, that rear end's not really on there anymore.
Mr. nicknames his private member Lazarus because he has risen